Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sunday School and Merry Christmas. I hope you had just a wonderful Christmas surrounded by lots of good things, good food, and lots of love. Now, you may think that Christmas is over, but in the church, Christmas Day is just the beginning of Christmas season. Christmas season goes on for 2 full more Sundays, for 12 days, until the Magi arrive on a day we call Epiphany. We'll talk about that more later. So we are going to, for the next few weeks, keep talking about Christmas because I could always use more Christmas. And there's lots of different ways, different perspectives we can take on this story. So it will be very different each week, but we're going to keep talking about that a little bit. And today we're going to do this book called Refuge by Anne Booth and Sam Usher. And it's a lovely little book. But I think you'll really enjoy that. Takes a different perspective on the Christmas story. So before we do that, let's get our candle and we will do our opening prayer. So we are back to our Christ candle since Christmas has arrived. And we will light this. And then let's take just a couple deep breaths to get us ready for our prayer and then our story. Loving God, we give thanks for all of our blessings and the wonderful gifts that we have received this Christmas season. Both the gifts that we have opened and the gifts of hope and peace and joy and love. Help us to carry these gifts of hope and peace and joy and love in our hearts so that we may share them with others all year long. Amen. I will put that back here. Refuge. Opening page there. The man led me, and I carried the woman all the way to Bethlehem. And then the baby was born. The shepherds came first. And then after them came the kings. When the last king left, the scent of frankincense still lingering in the air, we all went to sleep. And the man had a dream of danger. He woke long before the sun rose and told the woman. She took the baby and kissed him. She smelled his sweet baby breath and felt his soft, warm baby skin and how his lashes tickled her cheek as he sleepily muzzled her neck. "Time to go," she said. Then they wrapped him up warm and kissed him again, and the man came to get me. He patted me between the ears and led me out. "Come, old friend, we're off on a journey again." And we left some gold for the innkeeper, for he had been so good to us when others were not. And then we were off. Under starlight, through empty streets, while the people were sleeping, hoping for kindness of strangers again. And we passed the shepherds in the fields, and there were whispered blessings, and the movement of sheep in the darkness, and the clasp of rough hands, and the love of warm hearts. And I kept walking, carrying my precious load. And the woman held the baby close to her heart, and she and the man talked about journeys and dreams and warnings and the love of a baby and the kindness of strangers. And when we rested and they were frightened, they took hope from each other and from the baby's first tiny smile. And we entered Egypt. And we found refuge. I wonder what you thought about this book. I wonder if anything surprised you in this story. I wonder if this story reminds you of any other stories. I wonder if you figured out who was telling this story. I wonder if you know what a refugee is. A refugee is a person who has to flee, who is forced to travel somewhere to find refuge. Joseph and Mary and the baby Jesus were refugees because Jesus' place of birth wasn't safe for him. And so they had to flee that land where Bethlehem was and go to Egypt to find safety. I wonder if you've ever met a refugee. I wonder if you know what refuge is. Refuge means shelter or a safe place. And usually we talk about it in terms of having been in danger and needing to find that safe place. So I wonder what refuge feels like. I wonder if you have a place of refuge, a safe place that you can go when you are frightened. And I wonder if someone is there in that safe place. Or maybe your safe place is a person. I wonder what makes you feel safe. I wonder if you've ever experienced the kindness of strangers. I wonder what that felt like, especially if you really needed it. And I wonder if you've ever given a stranger a kindness, if you were that kind stranger. I wonder how we can be those kind strangers. I wonder what it would be like for the world to not have refugees, to not need them, and to be a safer place. That's a really big question, isn't it? And I wonder what you are going to do this week. I hope you find some really fun things. And something big that is happening this week is New Year's Eve. So I wonder what you're going to do for New Year's Eve or for New Year's Day. And sometimes when we get New Year, around the time of the New Year, we try and think about what we want for the next year. And in your email for this lesson, we have this sheet here that is a place to kind of color while you think about it, and then write down what your hopes and your dreams and your goals are. And I think this is a fun one, both for kids and adults. I think I might do this week because I could use some time to think about what my goals are for this next year. So print that out if you want. I think that'd be a really fun thing to do this week. So I hope you enjoy that as well, and I hope you find some other good things and fun things to do too. So let's bring back our candle. And we will do our closing prayer. If you have your card, let's say that prayer together. There. Loving God, thank you for the times that bring us close to you and to one another. Help us to remember that you are always with us. Amen. And I will change this light. There we go. So the light of Christ will find you. It will be there with you wherever you go and wherever you are. This light will be there for you. Have a wonderful week, guys, and I hope to see you again next week.